Hello everybody, welcome back to Wappelville. We're gonna go back to that whole War of the Last Alliance. We've done some of the Numenorians. We need some of the allies. That would be the elves. We got the first couple here. We got the grumpiest elf in Middle-earth, that's Elrond, and the nice little banner bear here. So we're gonna be doing these guys right here. Do these folks up with our object source sliding. We got the mounted version of Elrond that will also kind of do like this. Hey there, Landrast. I was sorry I didn't get a chance to tell you ahead of time. I wasn't quite sure. Well, I was pretty sure I wasn't going to be able to do this tonight, and well, for now it's working out. For now it is. Might be called away later on in the evening here, but we'll see how this goes. For right now, though, I want to get started up on this Elrond figure here. I'm going to just move some of these folks out of the way here. Thank goodness. At first I was sad there was no magnets on the bottom of these, but I can actually stick them on top of my phone and not erase it, which would make a sad face. All right, we got still using the Marion Street oils out over here. Just reasons, haven't had a chance to make any new stuff. We might have to throw some indigo out here. Holy smokes, where did my indigo here? We'll just we'll just use the Williamsburg version there. All right, out you go. Some of that. Now, let's see. Huge surprise. I think we're just going to be chucking a lot of Van Dyke Brown and stuff on this thing to do our pre-glaze. Might as well get down to that. No, well, there's not that much Van Dyke Brown, is there? All right. No. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm gonna throw some Payne's Gray out here too. Hey, Chaos. Nice to see you. So again, sorry that there was no stream on Thursday or Friday. It's on a scale of 1 to 10 of not super happy with how things have been going here. 10 being the highest. We're at about 475 right now. So just a little bit of an idea there of just some of the fun times that are transpiring. Now let me get a little bit of this Prussian blue out here too. So where the heck are my Numies? Okay. So yeah, see how these guys, it's almost more like a blackish blue. With our elves here, we want to, well, we're sort of going classic, which means, well, Prussian blue on that. Hey, B-dubs, nice to see ya. Grand Oracle, it's been very, very spicy. You know what? I think I'll just leave that because we know we want our object source lighting to hit that right there. Now let me get. Okay, there is some Mars black here too. And let's just chuck some of this over here. Again, it's pre-glaze, right? It's just pre-glaze. Alright, whoops. Yeah, the heck with you. I'm just going to do this here. And I'm just going to chuck some... No, I won't even do that. Oh, I don't... This is the only makeup sponge I have cut up. Well, we'll just do this. I'm going to do this, right? And I'm going to take that paint and I'm going to bring it over here. Literally, I'm going to paint with a sponge. It's almost like the old days, painting with the fingers. That's what I'm going to do here. Yeah, the adventure racing, that's right. So Flying Ryan, Twitch doesn't make any money if you're not streaming. So your income, it doesn't just go down. I mean, it goes non-existent. They also kind of penalize you as far as showing your stream to other people. Because, yeah, they they want people to be streaming all the time. I mean, they would literally want you to stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because, again, that's where, if nobody's streaming, they're not running ads. If they're not running ads, they're not making money. If nobody's, subbing doing those other things, also no money for them. So, yeah, unfortunately, what was it, December of 2021, we discovered what happens when you don't stream for about a week or so. And then in May of last year, and then, yes, that's kind of rinsed and repeated itself a few times since then. pre-glaze wiped away. You can see the difference already. And those weren't necessarily the most staining colors in the universe, were they? Hey, Abadoo, nice to see you again. Oh, no problem there, Chaos. So yeah, flying right, it's just, again, Twitch doesn't like that. So they kind of, they make sure they get your attention when you look at your analytics there and you go, holy smokes. Yes, indeed. And that means Cadbury eggs and all kinds of other fun things. Oh, Kinder eggs. Kinder eggs, that's right, Blades. Was that the first care package that you sent, the Kinder eggs? I can't remember, because we never had them. Thanks, Delete. Lovely. See how easy it is, right? See how just easy that is? Now, so this is again the Naphthol red, aka Fanchon red, and a little bit of, that's the Marion Street. It's the Marion Street fluoros there. Don't want to go too bonkers with this. We do want to have that sort of goldish look there. So Nixel, I hope that I hope it's fun too. I mean, it's a competition. It's a competition there, and but I also hope that you have a blast and that you kind of you get to enjoy the fruits of the of all of your training for sure. And now again, this is very different because see what I just did here with all the fluorescent stuff? That's just regular paint. Here I had to infuse the object source lighting color with metallic, because if this was not, it would look almost like safety tape, like you see on trucks or whatever, on the back of trucks and such. It would look very, very out of place. So in order to do that, you can see it still has, even where you got the lighting, it still has the shinies there. That's not easy, and it's tremendously difficult, but I had to give it a shot. Now, Chaos, yes, well, that's being medicated, right? It's, sometimes you just have to be medicated. Here we go. Let's do a little bit over here. So safe travels there, Grey Wolf, as well. Don't wanna forget that. Again, we got the angriest elf in Middle Earth here. That would be Elrond. Well, that's cool. Oh, geez, Nick. So yeah, well, yeah. I would think if you let them down, there would be a significant amount of wet towel snapping going on in the locker room afterwards. Who knows? Maybe they might just do it for a celebration too. I mean, not that a wet towel snap can't be used for celebration either. Crazy Wolf. Nice to see you again. Again, happy Easter for folks. Sorry that I just completely spaced on that. Well, like I said, there's been a minor distraction or two here this week and a half. Hey there, Hootie Hoot. Nice to see you. Nice to see you there, Hootie Hoot. Again, happy Easter to you. Fine. We'll just throw a little bit of that on there. Now, let's see if we can't do something on these golds here. We're also going to have to get some cooler colors on there, because the warmer this is, the less warm our object source lighting is going to be. Well, that was a little more light than we wanted there, but not a big deal. Not Chaos. That sounds very amenable to me. That does not sound like a bad process at all. Sounds like a really enjoyable one for sure. Where's the... no, let's do a little bit of that here. Oh, almost... we're actually going to have to, believe it or not, we're going to have to get the object source lighting there, then a smidge of gold here, and then we got to reflect this blue over there, because again, if it's supposed to be metal, how does it not have reflections? Hey there, AD. Great to see you again. I hope that your Easter's going to be a fun one. Everybody, please give AD Creations a follow also, because, well, that's what we should all do, right? You know, I'm just gonna... Oh, actually, what I'm going to be doing in a future video is with golds. I'm actually going to utilize that magenta again. That's the fluoro magenta. Just for reasons. Hey, Doji, happy Easter to you. So everybody, please give AD Creations a follow. So AD, of course, if you want to post your links there in the chat, as always, do that. Oh, Crazy Wolf, that sounds like that's going to be a blast. I'm guessing you're pretty darn anxious to give that a little bit of a trial run, aren't you? Yeah, let's shoot some more on here. Let's do a bit more. So again, Blades, if you wanted to share your links, you know, I don't know if you, I know you have your Instagram picture of that miniature that you were painting with the hack and slash. That's what that is. Now, any more? Yeah. Let's get the... Ooh, that's going to be too much of the... Let's back off a smidge. Let's go backwards a little bit here. Not too much, though. Oh, fine. I'll just... Yeah, I guess we need to get a little bit of the source lighting down here, too, don't we? Because, reasons, right? Yeah, let's just do that here. Let's get some of our orange there. Some of it there. Some here. Yeah, let's let this chainmail get it. Wow, there was a lot of the pre-glaze color that just got onto the brush there. Boy, Blades, Instagram is a weird beast right there. There's things that I think, well, this is going to get a whole bunch of views, this, that, and the other, and it gets nothing. And there's other things that are, nobody's going to want to see this, and that's the big thing. And then there's times where it starts out crazy, like all kinds of people looking at it and such, and then it just goes, just disappears off the face of the earth. It's just, well, that's weird. Well, of course, I mean, just like YouTube wants nothing but shorts, and those aren't the kind that you wear under your pants. They want the really short form videos, and Instagram is pretty much the same way. Pretty much the same. Oh, there we go. A little bit of our source lighting there. Everybody, please check out the Insta link. Check out the Insta link there by AD Creations. So Grey Wolf, I'm hoping. I have that Wappellious figure printed out, and I have to say, it was nifty. Where'd you go? There you are. Now the 28mm version was interesting. Holy smokes! I think you're really gonna like the big version of this. I think you really are. Hey, Holt Mini Paints, how you doing? Holt Mini Paint, could you do me a favor? And actually, speaking of links, if you could show people some of your Instagram or Facebook posts there, because I think it would be an interesting, kind of informative thing for people to see what you've been doing lately with some of the stuff. So if you don't mind sharing that, I think that would be a good thing for sure. Now again, what are we trying to do here? The same thing we did with our Numenorian. However, we need a different blue here. This is going to be more towards the Prussian blue or Payne's gray. One of those two. Not quite sure yet. Holt Mini Paint, I knew you would. And I was hoping that you would not mind doing that, because it's always good for people to see other people. Hey, Grey Wolf, if you're not already out there, if you wanted to share some of your I almost said Rue Morgue, but was it Rue Morgue? Your zombie side stuff. Oh gee whiz, we never did get that light down there. Now let's get some over here. So Doji, this was really fun right here. Now these oxalis plants, I do have to do some bases with the birch trees because, like I said before, Kathy has at least 3 of these oxalis plants around the house. These rocks were interesting. These were some different basing bits. These aren't from Make It Epic. These are from somebody else. But these are just those scraps of the bulletin board cork, which I sliced at different angles. I've never tried it. I have bucket loads of that stuff. You're going to be seeing a lot more of it because I got bucket loads of it. You're going to see a bunch more of it. Oh, Rue Morgue was the modern. You have a plague, whatever. Sorry, Zombicide, Black Plague. That's what you have. Again, sorry. Again, 13 hours of sleep when the average human is supposed to have 30 to 32. Hey, Yesik, nice to see ya. Yeah, Holt Mini, if you could show those, please. I want people to just be able to get a sense of what is possible with the oil paints. Now, I'm going to try something here. Is this going to be too close to the Numies? That's going to be, I think, too close to the Numies, so we're going to back off. We'll back off of that, and we're going to grab the Prussian Blue. And this is sort of a dry brush here. So yeah, everybody please check out the is that Facebook link? Yeah, it's a Facebook link by Holt Mini. And again, Grey Wolf, if you want to share your Black Plague stuff, I mean, you it's kind of like Dave with all of the Song of Ice and Fire stuff, right? Where you got yourself a fair amount of that now, don't you? So Pendrake, that's 13 hours of sleep since Tuesday. Now, Tuesday into Wednesday, because that's a treatment day, that's pretty much a normal circumstance. But because of what happened since then, the all-night vigils were Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thank you so much, Blades, for being here. Appreciate you. And again, everybody check out Holt Mini's links there. Just like Blades did. Well, Elite, it's kind of funny. Well, I've said this before, right? Especially, I know I've sent people messages about this. The streams are super relaxing for me. Oh, gee whiz. Okay, how do we not get any of our orange down there? We need to go do that. Yeah, I needed them to chill out for me too. That's for sure. Yeah, Grey Wolf, I remember when you first sent me, you said, well, here's the good news. Here's the not so great news about it, but hopefully the great news outweighs the other news, right? So Pendrake, nice to see you again. So again, all we're doing here, just using this as a wee spot of a dry brush here. Guess what? We actually have to reflect a little bit of the blue over there too. But before we forget, that was about some of the red and orange together, hopefully. And that's just about enough. Look at all that pre-glaze there on that brush. Holy smokes! Here, let me just snag a paper towel if I can. And tonight's also most likely going to be yet another, oh look, it's 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning kind of a thing. Now, I'm going to get a little bit more of the red here. Again, that's the not naphthol red. But I mean, it is the same thing. All kidding aside, it's the same deal because when you look at what's in Fanchon Red, it says Naphthol Red. So blades, let's do a little film noir here. Where's our Numi? I think this will be good. This will be good. Okay. So we're just kind of getting into this here, right? All of a sudden, it doesn't look like either one of these guys has any object source lighting. Even now, this is the finished one. This is the one. Oh, by the way, this is less than a half an hour in. Less than a half an hour. And we're gonna. The next thing we're gonna do is start coming back in with some more darks there to enhance some edges. But look at that. Just about no object source light until we do this, and then all of a sudden, bam! You start to see some of that. Now here we can do the. I didn't get to do a film noir with this. Oh. Yeah, look at that. Pretty much Zippo on the object source lighting, right? I mean, there's a vague little bit of light right there, but is it really all that different than the reflected light over there? Once again, back with our color. And poof. Very different, yes. Cooler blues and greens. You can see some of the turquoise in there. And then you got orangey reds there. Doji, that's going to be fantastic. And Doji, of course, if you want to share any of your links. Right, because there's some Discord ones that you have, right? Oh, I did get those. Here they are. So, now I don't know if these are still on sale or not. These are the 18-0 short liners. I got 10 of these, I think, because they were $4.93-ish, something like that. Okay. So the bust was a Patreon one because several folks, they have, I mean, they've been real generous. They signed up for the pledge where they actually get the bust, and that meant, well, I mean, I had some, but like that one, believe it or not, this has been prepped for about 3 months, maybe 4. It's just with all the chaos, was not able to get to it, but it just was. I started filming that. at 3 in the morning. That's when the filming process began. And even a 2-hour video can sometimes take 3-something hours just to film. So yeah, that was that took a little. That took me deep into the morning, that's for sure. So here's some more of our, again, little bit of pin line wash. We did, by the way, we did a couple things on this. We did a metallic pin line wash. Yes, you can do that. And we made an interference color out of Terra Rosa and the interference green. So, yeah, that's the one that I can't gear up here. So yeah, the interference green and Terra Rosa makes a really interesting, when you see the two together and you hold the figure one way, you get Terra Rosa. You hold it another way, you get interference green. Let's see. So Doji, it might not hurt to have the. Where is that one? The Prussian blue. Here, because a lot of this was the Prussian blue. There was a tiny bit of indigo sort of in the darkest parts of it, but most of that was actually Prussian blue, so it might not be bad to kind of have that on hand. And painting tentacle, these are the Princeton Velvet Touch. We also use the filbert version. They're, ironically enough, about the same cost, typically about $5.30. The short liner refers to the handle, not to the bristles. You want the long bristles. You don't want any of that spotter type stuff. But here's one where, see how I had to chop off the handle? That's what this is. This was a long handle brush with the stupid short bristles. Let's see. So Crazy Wolf. Now, I'm guessing they did some grimdark stuff there. Actually, I've been looking. Oh, no problem painting tentacle. I've been looking around at various, some 40K-ish things. Well, Tau stuff. I have some Eldar files. I actually printed those out. I haven't had a chance to prep those. Uh, what's interesting, I had just started using the gray resin with. I wish that I had started those with the gray resin. I think it was one of the last build plates or two of those got printed with the gray extra firm. And not gray extra, that's the Sculpey. Sorry, the gray simple resin. Well, Doji, I'm glad that you've been able to supply yourself. I've tried to point people to, well, there's Gerstecker, but what's the other one? It's not Jerry's Art, it's Art something or other. Again, this is just a pin line wash here. There we go. A little bit of the Egyptian Violet. Actually, believe it or not, this very thing we're doing right here, Egyptian Violet and Brown Matter, I mixed the metallic paint with it, the iridescent pearl white, and that's what was used, or was it, it might have even been some of the interference red. So some Chaos Marines. But yeah, unfortunately with the Patreon, I mean, yeah, and I've said it before, when you protest via Patreon, the only people that get whacked are the creators. Doesn't hurt GW at all. It helps them. All it does is hurt the creator. There was some other point where they said, I'm canceling all my Patreon stuff because they didn't like something Patreon did. Now you ain't hurting Patreon at all. They won't even notice it. But the person, unfortunately they'll notice just because of economy of scale, right? So they'll definitely notice it straight away. Let's do a little more. That'll get some of our Prussian blue as well. I might even tempted to maybe do the black along here. I think we'll wait on that. We'll wait on that. What we are going to do though is we haven't put any of our lighter blues in here. So Doja, I think it's an organization potentially in the UK. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because with our Numis here, we use the Radiant Blue and some of the Radiant Violet too. Here, Radiant Turquoise. Once again, dry brushy time, like that. This is the reason why these miniatures don't take forever to dry, because we do not have tons and tons of paint on there. And the way to do that is to, well, this sort of a dry brush type of an application here. The oils are so easy to apply. They're just so smooth, buttery, whatever, that a dry brush with them is like practically doing a, I don't know, very not a glaze with the acrylics, but an acrylic brush that has plenty of liquid in it to make that paint flow. The oils just flow naturally. They don't necessarily need that extra stuff with the liquid and everything else. But that is something that kind of plagues people when they're trying out the oils for the first time. Yeah, we need to do some of that lighter blue here. Also, remember we wanted to reflect that over here. Why? Because it's right next to that blue. Oh, and I don't know if you... Oh, boy. Doja, I don't know if you were there in the stream when I talked about just how shiny the Williamsburg Prussian blue can be. So, might just need that little bit of a hit as we add some reflected light over here of the anti-shine. To throw some blue there too, and we'll maybe throw some. Again, that's our Prussian blue right there. Get mixed with a little bit of the Radiant Turquoise. Also a little bit more. mean, if that's too much, we can always wipe some of that away. Well, that sounds really cool there, Doji. Alright, well, Grey Wolf Studio, happy Easter to you. I hope you're gonna enjoy the relatives tomorrow. I'll try and shoot you a message if I can. These days, all bets are off for everything, because I really don't know 5 minutes from now what's going to be the case. Oh, gee whiz, forgot our lighter blue up there. All right, now let me see. I'm gonna turn this around here. We're actually going to. There we go. We have too much of the yellow there. Want to get some of the orange back into that, like so. That too. Again, why sit there and do a bunch of layers of stuff? And like always, in that other video that I was telling you about, everything started with the object source layer, even with true metallic metal. So whether it's you're using all metallics or whatever, the object source lighting, you really want to establish that first. Thank you so much, Crazy Wolf. And again, Grey Wolf, I hope that you can get at least a little bit of sleep there. So sorry about this thing over. I have no idea why the tip jar thing just doesn't want to work anymore. And that's kind of how it always is, right, Blades? Things are just randomly going to stop working. Blades, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to get you some Amazon. Well, it wouldn't really work anyways, because being up there. But just to give you some search parameters, so I'll try and get you some of those, some of the lights that I use. Now, the downside is that all of those lights, well, it's the reason why I I don't have the, what is that, the face cam, because of all the different lights, because all you would see is just all the different lights. So that would be one thing you would kind of have to dispense with the face cam. Again, I've never been a huge fan of that. If the person's painting a miniature anyway, I'm not looking at the face cam. So Crazy Wolf, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's get a little bit. That's too much. I don't know. We'll see. We can always come back with some darks too. Not a problem. So thanks so much, Paint Chantress. Yeah, there's so much of the Lord of the Rings stuff that I've painted, but yet so much still yet to do. Heck, there's a bunch of Easterling stuff. Yes, that I have to get to. Oh, speaking of Lord of the Rings, where did they go? I have everything set now for this army painting series. So we will be doing the basing video on these guys right here. That is going to involve the metallics just like what we did here. So essentially the same kind of technique we used on this Gondalorian. Same thing we used there. So yeah, this round we finally have the grumpiest elf in Middle-earth. Gandalf is not going to have an easy time here. He was sort of semi-safe for a while, but now that Elrond is here, yeah, that's going to be tough for old Gandalf there. I'm going to take. Well, look at this. We finally have dipped into the fast matte white. 58 minutes in. Again, 58 minutes ago. Elrond here. No paint on there. So thank you so much, Armored Wolf, for posting a link to the Patreon page. I always try to do, whether it's basing, color scheme, whatever, things that are not just different for people, but different for me. Because that thing that I showed you there, figuring out what the heck to do with that, and filming the entire process, that, I mean, I don't know, I learned stuff from it. I just hope that other folks learn as much as I do when I'm making these videos. You know what, I'm going to try it a little bit lighter here. Again, that's the Radiant Turquoise. as opposed to the radiant blue. So we're just going to chuck those on there. And I will take the Yeo blending brush here, try and just get some of the paint off of it. Utilize it as a blending brush. So we have the big old blobs there, which are no longer big old blobs. There. I didn't really mix a special color for this. That's the other thing that saves you so much time with the oils and saves you on paint, right? Because this is not, we're not going to treat the oils like they're super slow drying acrylics. Not at all. I need to chuck some more of my lighter blue out there on his cloak. Such as it is. Same over here. So now, of course, this is the actual GW Elrond. Somewhere, actually, yeah, Armored Wolf. The elves that you showed me there, the Diwali ones. I don't think that was all that long ago that they did. I think actually those guys and the Iron Hills Dwarves were part of the same, for a couple of months, part of the same releases. And I know I have some of those printed out, at least one of each of the figures from the release printed out somewheres. Don't know where they are somewheres. So thanks, Bithra, appreciate that. Now, we were talking about reflected light here. So, but we do that. There's our blue. And if it's supposed to be shiny gold, and it's right next to the blue here, how does it not reflect on that? Now, of course, again, that's the kind of innate, little bit of a shine from the Williamsburg Prussian blue. That's really easy to take care of. You just take your Army Painter Anti-Shine after everything dries, and you just give it a little bit, very light application. You'd be surprised at just how much it takes out. We've done so many different elf color schemes already. Remember the Glorfindel here? So we did some of the elf heroes with this. And then, of course, here's our Rivendell elves, a very different color scheme right there. We'll still be doing more of those. Lots of elves to paint. Several different factions. I've got Galadrim elves. Am I going to lighten up that blue some more? Might let it start to go a little bit more neutral with the fast matte white, I think, here. Whoops, a little too much. No big deal. As you can see, we're just going to let that mix. Look at that. Why paint palette miniatures? A lot of the big blobs of color you see here, that was just the pre-glaze stuff, so it's not like I've been mixing those colors. The pre-glaze, as always, is that very dark beginning that you see, where it then gets partially wiped away by the makeup sponges. Let me see if I can a little, and just a couple of little zones here. Like so. I might do, alright, fine, we'll just do a chunk of a little bit of that right here. And that never really did get the blue here. I'm going to try and lighten this up. Again, to take that blue cloak there and reflect it on our metals. Now, let me go back here. I think we'll come back with our dark here. That's the Egyptian Violet Brown Matter. Hey, Comp Native, nice to see you back. So it's, as usual, it's the short liner. It's the 18-0 Princeton Velvet Touch. Now, don't know if the sale's still going on, but I just, oh gosh, a week plus or so ago, I got some. They were $4.93, somewhere in that neighborhood. That sale might be over by now. But the key is liner brush, not spotter brush. Those spotter brushes, well, first of all, they just get beat up immediately. Also, you couldn't do what I just did with a spotter brush. And these are artificial hair brushes. They're not sables or anything like that. These are far hardier than sable brushes. They take way more punishment. Can do so much more with them, like this. Like a weird sideways brush stroke like so. So Camp Native, great to see you here as always. And hope that you've been maybe able to do some fun painting things. All right, now let's swing on back. So we've started to work with some of the ambient lights on this thing. Why? Because we need to see the comparison between that and the object source lighting. Same thing with our Numenorian here. Right, we had to see just how light is this going to get, because that's too light, then this becomes object source shading. Not too great. Don't want that. Ah, boy, Grand Oracle, as you know, whoever tries the Perline Red, just let me know what you think of it. If you think you've found a possible use for it, or if you just say it's situational, where you say, it could be fun to have, but is it just like, well, it's sort of a luxury. So there we go. See what we did right there? See, there's still a hard edge here. We took this edge, dragged that out, so we softened the edge on that. You know what? I will take the brilliant yellow pale here. Yes, we might thin down the oils a little bit, but with the oils, you thin them down too much, you will just create a pin line wash, and that really is not what we're looking for right here. Yeah, Camp Native again. Do I have this? I just had it here. I think it's still around. Yeah, it just got buried here. But yeah, I got myself another 10 of those. Dick Blick has, I don't know if I think they still have the free shipping on basically $60 and over. Which, I mean, I'll take that for sure. That works for me. Oh, I still gotta get my blue in there. I knew there was something I was forgetting. That also needs. I'm just going to use this brush as a blending brush. Any brush can be one. Now I'll have to come back and restore the darks there for sure. Yeah, no problem. We can do that later on. So Bithron, if you wanted to post some of your 15 mil stuff, it was kind of wild seeing the eagles that you have there, Bithron. Just given how we were sculpting the Lord of the Rings ones, and then to see them that small like that was pretty wild. Very gentle dry brush. Look at this. See where my hands are? None of this, right? None of this death grip on the brush kind of stuff. It is a vital thing with the oil paints, because as we're going to make a little bit of radiant gray now as we mix some green with that. Very, very light touch on that brush. It's important with the acrylics too, because that's as much about keeping your hand from getting sore as anything else, because it will. Believe me, it will. Look, now that's not the pre-glaze there, that's just some of our lava and such. Now let's start to get some of these lighter colors in the lava here. Well, I just get that brush cleaned out a little bit. Yeah, Grand Oracle, I have to say it was a little strange. using the, well, actually I'm using the Prussian blue from Gamblin, and it's strange to see that there's a little bit of shininess from that too. It's been a while since I used it. Yeah, Bithron, I'm glad you have those, and well, having a whole unit's worth straight away, that's also nice. Boy, Grand Oracle, that I still can't get over. The ultramarine blue from Williamsburg versus, say, well, just the Winsor Newton version. My goodness. Does it really get that much more different? Let me throw in a little more light right here. If I am streaming tomorrow, my guess is it's going to be also another late night stream like this one. Until we're more out of the woods with the circumstances here. Yeah, Grand Oracle, I mean, gee whiz. The same thing for Payne's Gray. Right, I just, that was just like the ultramarine blue. It was kind of like, there's really no point to it anymore. But then the Williamsburg Payne's Gray came along and said, you know what, this is almost, like, it's not versatile like the indigo in that it can be a pre-glaze type, a reliable pre-glaze color. But it offers you say you want to do metal on orcs. And I know a couple of folks, they use the Payne's Gray, they mix it with the iridescent pearl white to create a kind of a deeper grayish metal type color. Once again, just trying to catch some of the lighter edges here. Let's see what we can do now, maybe. Some portions of the armor, we don't want to have it be too yellow. That's a tricky thing about gold. In some ways, almost a bit like some kind of steel, but with blue object source lighting. Grand Oracle, I'm pretty sure that I asked you if what the violet pigment was. Was it just Egyptian violet? In which case, well, that makes things spicy, doesn't it? Now again, we'll have to come back with our darks here too. Alright, what are we at here? 1 hour, 12 minutes. 1 hour and 12 minutes. Yeah, can't be cheap, right, Grand Oracle, if you've got the EV as part of it? Yes, indeed. Now here, I'm just going to indicate that little bit of trim right there. Hey, Halligan. Well, happy Easter, Halligan. Well, yeah, it is. It's 12:48 here. So it's Easter here. Happy Easter to you. And Halligan, if you want to post some of those fantastic historicals, I know you got yourself a new historical that you could post. And again, Patchwork Goblin, if you wanted to talk about that, there's a link to the hack and slash campaign there. That's fine. Yeah, Grand Oracle, it's got to be a little bit just unusual to think of our beloved Egyptian violet as just part of something. Well, Egyptian violet's never part of anything, right? It just takes over. Yeah, it'll do that. It will just take over. Look at that. So that's a little bit of the liner brush goodness on display right there. Being able to, again, do a brush stroke quite literally backwards, like that. So great to see you there, Halligan. So Halligan, I was working on some more experiments last night. Again, I filmed this from about 3 in the morning to about 5:20, 5:30, something like that. So Patchwork Goblin been doing the miniature painting. Since for 23 years, but we did plenty of the 2D art before then. And what's fun is that well, here we've got he's like, oh, gee whiz, dude, just chuck it into the volcano here. See this right here? Can you do me a solid? Just chuck it in there. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like, it's bad enough dealing with the Gandalf guy. So that's Elrond just begging him, just like chuck the stuff away, get rid of it, get rid of that ring. I'm gonna try and hit that again now with some more of my lighter yellow right there. Not right at the end of the blade, but kind of right where it gets curved like that. So everybody, please check out that 1st Infantry Division there. Oh, Halligan, you know, there is a museum, and man, I haven't had a chance to go there since I was in Boy Scouts. I mean, that's how long ago we're talking. Cantini, that's what it's called. And it's a museum dedicated to the 1st Infantry Division. And there's an awful lot of World War I memorabilia there, but they also have, I do believe, and they've always had it, a diorama of Normandy beaches there. So yeah, Patchwork Goblin. What's really fun is that whether it's a miniature or whether it's the 2D stuff, really the same principles apply. And of course, oh, look at this, looky here. There's their Sauron. So all the same colors, all the same ideas that went into this over here, also on our Sauron figure. Yeah, Halligan. Now, of course, they completely redid the museum. Oh gosh, I would say in the last 15, 20 years or so, massive renovation of it. Updated a lot of things. Hey, IMW Studio, how you doing? Nice to see you. And of course, again, happy Easter. Happy Easter to all the folks joining me here. Appreciate you. Thanks for doing the clip there, Bithron. I knew it was going to get adventurous when we finally had our Elrond figure there. Delta, how you doing? A happy Easter to you as well. Again, sorry we have not been able to stream the last several days here. You know what? I'm going to do this. This is the same thing we did here. In order to get that to actually stick there, it had to be thinned out, not to a pinline wash level, but thin over thick and vice versa, right? Yeah, Patchwork Goblin, I mean, when you think about it, the composition, the various contrasts, color contrast, saturation contrast, even edge contrast, all of those things. They work in all of those mediums, the digital, the 2D physical, and of course the miniatures, no doubt. I'm going to stick with this for right now. We could still go lighter than that orange, should the need arise. Here, now, not going to quite do as much of the glow here on the cloak, since that's cloth, as opposed to our metal surfaces, which should probably pick up more of the tiny little there's a little glints of light. Now here, I'm going to see what happens when we throw a little bit of that is our floral magenta right there. Boy, Expron, the whole picture thing, that can be more difficult than painting the miniature. Now, for me, since I have literally a matter of seconds to be taking pictures and processing them, everything is extremely basic. I have the blue backdrop in the photo booth with the same lights. I've just photographed it from that variety of angles. I do the usual Instagram pics or for videos as needed. Well, looky here, somebody else that you're going to need to follow in addition to Pascal. You need to give Drax a follow. So Drax, how did the new batch of the MCP figs go? Eventually, they're just gonna say, you know what? Here, let's just add two or 300 miniatures to this. You know, that's eventually what's going to happen, I think. So everybody, please give Drax a follow as well. Drax has been really hammering away at quite a few of the Marvel Crisis Protocol figs. Hey, Snick. Holy smokes, Snick. Wow, it's been a while. Great to see you again. Happy Sunday. Happy Easter, of course, to everybody. So great to see you there, Snick. I hope that you're doing very, very well. Now we have our light there. What about this stuff down here on that sword? I'm going to get me... oh, I don't have... I thought I had phthalo green out here, but I don't... Well... Or magenta. Now let me try the green here. So let's see if we can manufacture that with the use of the Indian yellow and the Prussian blue and some of the radiant green. Let's see what that does. So great to see you again there, Snick. So Drax, I kept thinking of you as I was doing this. This is the latest video. This will go up on the Patreon page later tonight. But this is all true metallic metal, but also with the object source lighting. And I just kept thinking of all the different busts that you did, where you were doing the multi-light sources, like, oh gosh, what were those things? The Neko? I keep wanting to say Neko wafer, of course. Oh, thanks, Nick. Appreciate that. That was really fun doing that one. I don't remember who makes it, though. So if anybody knows, that would be good to know. Now they refill. It's pretty funny because I looked at the hair and I said, okay, that's conduit and that's Romex. So actually tell a story during the filming of the video about, well, maybe some suburbs in Chicago where there's a little bit more Romex being used for the electric work than you really technically should. You're only supposed to have so much Romex, and if it's a certain distance to cover, you really should cover it with conduit and not Romex. Surface tension returns successful from the walk. So Drax, I think, well, let's see, had you already started, I don't know, I'm just going to call it the throne, but I almost called him the Lorax, the Thanos throne. I actually did, way back in the day, I had to sculpt a Lorax for somebody. It was for their army, for his Dr. Seuss themed wood elves. His dryads were pipe cleaners with very bright, what are the little things on top of them? The little crazy tufts of stuff. I'm going to mix a little bit of my regular skin tone with this radiant green here. Sort of a grayish tone now. There we are. I thought for a second there was the sort of a crown thing there, but I don't think they actually did that on this miniature. Well, I hope those are a blast, because good grief, they keep adding more and more and more and more to it. Oh, hey Drax, I don't know if you wanted to share your battle report that you guys did. That really went that went pretty viral for some views, didn't it? So yeah, if you want to share your YouTube link for that. I almost forgot about it, sorry. Let me see if I can. Yeah, the lower lip needs some lighter color here. Let's just use this. Yeah, this pipe cleaner dry. Oh, with the little little bright tufts of not stuffed animal fur. Oh, I know what we need to do. We need to get some light on the underside of the eyes there. Let me see if we can do that with maybe this. Is this light enough? Thanks, AD. Appreciate that. And of course, again, AD, if you want to post your link again to your Instas. Oh, he also, I don't remember what that unit was representing, but he had a whole bunch of gummy bears with toothpicks as spears. And I think Skittles as shields. So yeah, he had gummy bears. Again, I don't know what they were representing in the Wood Elf army. I don't even know what they would be representing in Dr. Seuss, but that the Lorax was the general, which I sculpted. And then everything else was all kinds of craziness. Alright, so everybody please check out the Instagram link there from AD Creations. Thank you so much, Armored Wolf, for posting the link to the YouTube channel. Let me see if I can get a little bit of our Radiant Violet into this, then the Brilliant Yellow Pale. And I really want to sharpen up there we go, over the top of that eyebrow. So the Barbaloots, okay. So yeah, I don't know if he had 1 or 2 units of those, but gummy bears with Skittles for shields and toothpicks for spears. Hey, Dr. Boss, how you doing? Let me see if I missed. Here we go. So Dr. Boss, I don't do that, especially because of the with the pre-glaze element there. You're gonna want to have those different pre-glaze colors, and of course, well, like this right here. There was just the phthalo green, the Indian yellow. There was the perline black. There was a little bit of Terra Rosa. No, I don't even think there was Terra Rosa. There was not. I only used maybe 11, 12 colors on a usual basis. And of course, the fluorescent orange, the fluorescent yellow. Those are some specialty things that'll pop up when we're doing things like the object source lighting. Now, this is something, again, I suggest with the oils of something like this, a little bit of a black and white exercise, basically just a value study. So that was Van Dyke Brown and Brilliant Yellow Pale. Oh, you know what? We can do a film noir here. Let's do a film noir. So let's watch our object source lighting disappear. It's virtually gone. Because, yeah, there's a certain element of light and dark to it, but oh look, it doesn't look any different now to our value study of the wolf. Again, with some Make It Epic basing trees. But here, let me spin them around this way. Let's bring back our color. And there you go. All of a sudden our object source lighting returns. So it's more about the color contrast, right? Than just the value contrast. Here's our Wappellious figure. It's about, now here there's no color intensity contrast, but there's a warm versus cool contrast. And then look at this. very, very desaturated colors right there. Super desaturated. And of course, this is another good example right here. So we've got our cave troll. Once again, say goodbye to the object source lighting for the most part, because as we will do this again, we'll bring back our color. You've got cooler, grayer here. Flip it this way, there's your really intense warm oranges. So you got the warm versus cool. You've got the intense versus desaturated. And of course, well, it doesn't really matter whether or not we're doing it for 2D or 3D. Use the exact same colors on Barrador. It's like, yeah, now that's a tower. Yeah, right. Osgiliath, not so much. This is like 3 times as tall, man. Except if a tree man comes along, he's probably knocking this down, I got to admit. But handy fire right over there, so say no to Ents. Sorry, for the folks that haven't seen the puppet shows here. Yeah, Dr. Boss was talking about things like the Indian yellow and the Egyptian violet, 2 super staining type colors, massively different in their consistency. The Egyptian violet's kind of on the thinner side as far as the paint goes, but it actually is going to cover much more. The Indian yellow is equally as intense, except it's super, super thick. Here we're adding some of that floral, which is definitely not opaque at all. And same thing with the Indian yellow. It is very much not opaque, even though the color is really thick. It's as thick as Terra Rosa. So yeah, X-Bron oils is what I use here all the time. Doesn't matter whether it's non-metallic, metallics. I even did on the Patreon page, there was that one bust where we split it right down the middle. One half was non-metallic, the other half was true metallic, just to show it was possible. Nerifail, do you remember some of the early days, well, even before these, but in addition to, I was using the really small, like lipstick applicator type stuff. They were disposable ones. I think eyeliners too. Didn't really use too much of the eyeliner ones. It was mostly the lipstick ones. But then I just started using the makeup sponges. That was a better way to go. So thanks for the clip there, Bithron. Appreciate that. Now, where's our wolf? Because that's a good example here. Ah, there you are. There you are. And I think we'll back out just a smidge here so we can see. There we go. We can see a little bit more of them if we do this. Now, let's do our little magic here. Taking away the color. The essential thing here now is edge contrast. There's value contrast, but besides that, edge contrast. Softer edges here. The hardest edges where we want that focus to be right there on the eyes, right? Also, directional brush strokes, kind of leading you right into this area. As we bring back the color now, you can see the difference. Oh, look, Terra Rosa, Perlane Black, so a green and an orangey brown there, opposites. And then here you've got the Indian yellow, again, a very intense color. And then over here you got the cooler blues, cooler colors here, warmer colors here. So once we bring back our color, we have the intensity contrast, we have the color contrast, temperature contrast. So now when you get things, and they'll be in those starter sets like the cadmium whatever hue, that's not real cadmium color. It's they basically try to create some weird approximation of it. And it's not like the colors are terrible, but just it says cadmium, it's not actual cadmium. Because if it was, that $20 set of starter colors would be more like $50. So that's just another little important thing to know. That's all. Now I feel like kind of missed out on some of my lights right there. Now there's Perlane Black. That's another favorite. I love that color. That used to be a printer's ink for the longest time. Somebody got the idea to turn it into an artist color, and then ever since it's been an artist color. But it started life out as a printing ink. So again, you can see we have that little bit of the lava flow there. That's just the base. I didn't bother putting any texture there or whatever. And we did the same thing here with our Numenorians. Same idea. Now that Numenorian there, that's not a GW Numi. That is actually from Diwali. Love me the Diwali Numenorians. Now here we got Terra Rosa mixed with the Indian yellow because we need to go further. We'll go Egyptian violet with the Indian yellow, creates sort of a nifty amber color. Yeah, Dave, that was, oh gosh, when did I get those? I think I got those in 2021, so that kind of fits into the timeline, right? You said a couple years ago. Yep, that's it. I don't know if they were brand spanking new when I got those, but it couldn't have been very long, that those were out before I picked some up. Now here we're going to try and get that dark. We like the chain of highlights, right? But then also the chain of darks. And that's what's been missing here all this time. Much better. Now I won't take this. I think I might use even this as a super micro, ultra micro blending brush here. Because those edges are... There we go. Just had to tone down the edge right there. We'll do the same here. Okay, that's a little bit better there. Now here we've got our firelight there. We have some under here. What about this? That's too much of the same. I think I want to get some more of basically the reddish color here. Not a radish, but some reddish color. Let's take the orange. Some of our naphthol red. Let's do that dry brush thing again. That's a whole lot better. This is the other thing about the oils is that you want to give it time to set. Now here's look at that big old nasty thing there. Oh, yeah. That was so difficult to fix. I'm traumatized. I think I can't continue. That was so difficult to fix that. That's the other nice, fun aspect of the oil paints. Makes fixing things really easy. Now here again, look at that. We're hashtag no layers red. I just took a, throw a little bit more of the red in there, maybe. There. So now we've got a little more transition as that goes further back that direction. And again, all of this stuff here, see that blend from the orange into blue. I didn't mix that in the traditional sense on the palette. Had the orange here, had the blue up here. We took just one of these blending brushes and we blended the two things together. That's a heck of a lot easier, right? Boy, Grand Oracle. Who else? I know that Paul tried those. I think maybe... no, or was it the Optilong? That was the other one. Yeah, don't get the Optilong paints, whatever you do. That the Mig Ammo oil brushes are at least passable in some ways. Those came after the Optilongs. They kind of went, oh, here's what went wrong. Let's try and fix some of this. The Optilongs are slimy, nasty. They will take forever to dry, no matter what you do. And they just don't want to stick to the miniature. That's what when we say slimy, like all of these paints have really good grip, especially Williamsburg. But the Gamlen Winsor Newton also do as well. But yeah, beware the Optilongs, because I tried those. We tried a couple of times to make those work. Other folks had gotten them and went, oh my goodness. So that's another thing where Having a whole bunch of folks doing the oil painting all at once was very helpful. Now here we just cleaned up some of the lines in there too. So if you check out Metalovic's link, there's that Discord. That is a Discord link there, so that you can see that again what can be possible with the blending with these boots here. Now some of this we're treating almost as off-camera light sourcing, much like we did with our Moria army, our Khazad-dûm army, even our I just call my Moria Fellowship. Same thing, where the light's just kind of coming from below in some nebulous fashion, not quite like our on-camera light sourcing of the Dunlendings, where the fire is right there for you to see. The off-camera stuff, well, guess what? That typically happens on bus, because unless they're holding a torch, it's kind of hard to actually have an on-camera light source with them, isn't it? I'm gonna get brown matter, some of them red. So this is one of those fast drying colors, to the point where tomorrow a lot of the colors on there will still be completely usable, but the brown matter is going to be mostly gone. It'll be dry for the most part. No alkyds in it. It's a plant-based thing, and it just happens to dry quicker. I haven't really timed out the purple matter in comparison, and I've actually not gotten the rose matter. That one's pricey. That is by far and away the most expensive of the three colors, by a wide margin. So again, there's a lot of colors I would love to try, but like we've said before, is we had a couple, let's see, a little bit of fun. There's little lava things right here. I just don't pull the trigger on those colors, because all of a sudden people are gonna say, man, I really want to use that. I love the effect that it did. How much is that? And then after you pick them up off the floor and probably change their undergarment, then they're not quite able to deal with that cost difference. I noticed a couple on here, we're missing a few of our little lights. Just tree bark, by the way. Just very simple. Tree bark, it's fabulous. It just imitates so many different surfaces. I mean, look at this, where there was a branch there. It almost looks volcanic right there. Right? Just practically looks that way. So, now if you can't get the straight up tree bark from, say, the forest floor, you can go to your local Home Depot, or I think it was a DIY, no, not DUI, but do-it-yourself, so DIY store. That's what they call them in Europe. Seminar, thank you so much for being here. As always, appreciate that. Again, I hope that you're doing really well. No, I'm not going to bother so much with that. Okay, I think we're pretty well set now on this. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Bitron. I'm still trying to get some of my reflected light here. Now up here, see, I'm losing the sense that we've got our dark band going across here. I'll try. Oh, look at, there's some of our brown matter here. Like that. What about up here? Can I get some of my green? Actually, how about this radiant green and some of the yellow here? Right in this one tiny little area. Oh, just there we go. Okay. I've tried to do that many times, but finally got there. And that's what it was. I had to shift the color away from just that yellow, because we have this orange yellow here already. So this is, believe it or not, we used essentially a very light green there. Let's see if we can get the fingers to be a little bit lighter. Let's see. Boy, I don't know if I want to do too much lighter as far as firelight here on the hands. Yeah, it does work. Okay, that's good. It's all good there. So happy Sunday morning or afternoon if you are down under, and happy Easter as well. Appreciate everybody being here. Appreciate all of the subs and the cheers and the bits and the follows, and of course all the clips by Bitron there. Also Armored Wolf, the bestest moderator on Twitch. So please check out Armored Wolf Productions. All things dice bags. Also journal covers. Also things like barrettes that you can just kind of wearable. This certainly, there we go. This was missing a little bit of our sort of lava light. Hey Doji, great to see you back. So yeah, Doji, I'm always mentioning if you could spell Geshdecker, and again, I hope that I'm pronouncing that somewhat vaguely correctly. Kagomez Fury has returned. Can everybody please give Kagomez Fury that follow, of course. And again, it was so easy to blend orange into blue. Yeah? How easy do you think that is with acrylics besides not at all? Not in the least. But that little touch of Indian yellow actually really does soup up that orangey yellow there. Kagomez Fury, unfortunately, it's been less than spectacular. That's why we didn't stream on Thursday or Friday. So I'm hoping to maybe be able to stream tomorrow night to kind of make up for some lost time. And if I do, well, this would be it, hopefully right here, the mounted version of Olek, our Elrond figure. This will be an interesting challenge because you'll have a lighter colored horse, right? But still with the object source lighting. Thank you so much, Kigo. And again, everybody please give Kagomez Fury a follow. I know a lot of folks, if you tend to be watching the Twitches at this hour, well, you're going to be, you're already going to be following Kigo. Again, just picking up a few of my lighter bits of orange. I'm looking at that. See, that's another thing. We'll take one of our little micro blending brushes here. So this thing on the sword hill, all I'm going to do is a little bit of tap, tap, tap here. And just like we did on the larger scale with the cloak, that's what we did right here. So that all of a sudden became nice and smooth. Didn't have to do any layers or glazes or anything like that. Boy, Kigo, sorry that you had that to deal with. That's a little bit difficult to stream with that happening, right? Because it puts a wee bit of a strain on that. So yeah, that's definitely a cause for irritation for sure. You know what? I'm gonna see. Just like we did here, see, we have the dark, light, and dark, light, dark, kind of alternating. Here we're gonna do this. See, we have this. Let me see. We're kind of missing that here too. Also, patience. Don't be hasty, little hobbitses. That was a heck of a lot easier to apply that paint there. If I'd done that 2-ish hours ago, probably would be much more difficult. We're not even 4 hours. Well, we're 3 hours 56 minutes. So getting on to the 4-hour mark. But again, here is that's all it was this very same gray primer. You know, I don't think we've actually had Treebeard in the same scene as our Isengard painting. I don't think we've done that. I think we've had Grima. Of course, we've had Saruman. But I don't think we've actually had Treebeard show up in that particular scene. So I can just throw a little bit more of the yellow there, because it is kind of out over firelight, right? Thank you so much, Armored Wolf, for posting the link to the Patreon page. If you do the Army Painter Pledge, what was that, the $15 one, like he says there, if you're not getting 1,300 hours, it's at least 1,200. I typically add about 20 hours a month, every single month, of new videos. None of them are of Arathu. So yeah, that would be the OnlyFans, I think, part where Arathu's featured in the videos. Hey there, Arathu, how you doing? Boy, Zafira, it makes, well, obviously they make a big difference with the tabletop games, but even in D&D, that was my favorite part of it, actually, was to have the figure representing you out there. So yeah, Zafira, and of course there's, in this day and age, which is a golden age of miniatures, there's so many incredible options out there. Now, between the 3D printing and so many different manufacturers, really great. So Arathu, I hope that you've been okay there, and well, I hope that you enjoy your holiday. Yeah, more there. A little bit more over here. Oh, actually, Arathu, I'm not sure if I ever asked you if you tried Warcry at all, because just a few folks I know that are big into maybe the Necromunda, but the Kill Team stuff, they do say it's very much like a Warcry, but for 40k. It's a lot of it comes with the terrain and such. So Arathu, it was less chill and more party time this particular weekend. So glad that you were able to do that. But now it sounds like maybe it's going to be chill time. Otherwise, it's going to be face down on the kitchen floor time. Now we're gonna, again, that is the fluorescent orange, little touch of the radiant yellow to get the opacity up, and then a little bit of the Indian yellow over here in the corner to make sure it doesn't get too peachy. It kind of shifts it back towards the orange. I don't think we need too much more in the cloud. Well, we're actually going to get rid of whatever that is. That's gone. So again, the orange to blue blends, such a snap, right? Stick the orange on there, the blue, grab some kind of a neutral blending brush or whatever, and then just softly tap, tap, tap. You're not going to brush them together. All it's going to do is just wipe it all away. So you can't brush them together. You just have to kind of tap, 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 a little bit like stippling. Yeah, Rathu, I know it's got its own little thing where you set up the terrain this way, and this is the objective or the mission of it or whatever, and I think the factions even set up this way with like your super killy guys last or your weakest guys first or whatever. Well, actually, with this right here in particular, and the weapon too recalls, Mom, wouldn't you say that kind of harkens to that particular universe? It is this part of the armor especially, and then and of course this almost a sort of a like a cross between a scimitar and a katana, right? So yeah, Arasu, the sometimes party business. When you're on party business, it might require being out of the house for just a bit of time. See, we get a little bit of sparkle on that now. That was the fast matte white, but I had to wait on that. If I tried doing that earlier, that would be a lot of no dice right there. Not gonna happen. So this up here, I'm actually going to eliminate a little bit of the source lighting up here because it just it's not facing down towards where the fiery stuff would be. Not quite sure what all this is supposed to be. We'll just throw some light on there. I would really like to see a bit more like right there on his cheek, and also maybe some kind of furrowed brow there might also be on order. Again, I do apologize for not being able to stream on the usual Thursday and Friday. I'll see if I can do a stream again tomorrow, and it's either going to be either Elrond on the horsey or that elf with the banner, one of those two. So I guess Arathu has some new images to add to his OnlyFans album. Thank you so much, Recoil's mom. We appreciate it, and Bobo appreciates it too. There's Bobo. There he is. So Recoil's mom, I don't know, where's our Kathy? Oh, here we go. So a lot of the imagery you've seen of Kathy is with Jiro, the ugly doll. Well, Bobo was one of the very first ugly dolls we ever got. And Bobo protects. He earned himself quite a reputation at jinxing dice. He was much feared by opponents. So there's a little bit of reflected light there finally. And I'll do a similar thing over here. And just a tiny touch of it. This is the difference between, see here I can just put that little dot on the end of the brush and just wave it around, talk, do whatever. And then eventually put that on the miniature. That's not going to happen with the acrylics. Thanks, Arathu. Much appreciated. I mean, obviously, I really enjoy doing this here because, well, it's the one time I get to hang out with folks. So it's really a blast. And of course, we get to make Bithron work really, really hard by doing tons of little bits for our silly Marillion. You know what? Now, I'll leave that there. We're just going to try and get that as our lightest light in there. Maybe if that's too far towards the white, we could take this here Indian yellow. And there we go. Actually, Recoil's mom. I keep forgetting here about all of the Herod stuff. Speaking of scimitar, well, there you go. There's a classic scimitar weapon right there. So this is our Herod army. That's Printing Goes Elrond, and this is from Diwali right here. And I had a blast making that base. As you mentioned the Aladdin thing, and all of a sudden I went, wait a minute, what about Herod? That's perfect. Alright, I'm missing, I think, some... that was it. Let me try and thin this down just a smidge. Boy, we have an awful lot of that Indian yellow in there. Boom, there we go. That's what we needed. I guess let's get some ambient light up here too. I think now we've got the light, dark light solved on his arm there.